We'll get this meeting going. It's just after 5 o'clock on January 7, 2026. This is a meeting of the Committee of the Whole for the City of Utica Common Council. We have in front of us packets, everything that's currently in the Committee of the Whole. I think we could go through each piece, and being a new term, we could discuss if we want to take steps to discharge the piece, keep the piece, or any other discussion that we have. So the first piece, proposed resolution number 4, St. Elizabeth Medical Center Plan, September 18th, 2024. I drafted this up back when it was unclear what the next steps were in the St. E's process. It's currently out for developers to look at, so I'm comfortable discharging this at this time. And if we have any further developments with the St. Elizabeth Medical Center, could draft something back up and put it in front of the council.
Councilman, where are we with this?
So it was put out to the state for interested parties. I think that is due the end of January, and questions are due at the end of January, and then any finalized documents are due, I think, in the beginning of February. Councilwoman Wazlewski, is that your understanding too of the? Okay.
So is there going to be like meetings at Munson and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Is there going to be more stuff like that?
So
there is a meeting right now. There's interviews at the site and stuff happening, but they're gonna let us know at a later date when those meetings are happening.
Yeah, and it might depend on which developers demonstrate an interest.
Their all proposals are due by February 2nd, though.
Okay, so we're just starting.
And then if we move on to introduction, local law number 3 of 2024. It's a proposed local law from 8/7/2024. Councilman Beatrice, I believe you originally brought this up for conversation.
This is basically what one of the things I want to talk about later today. This is an example that I put this after Herkimer did it, so we could have a meeting and talk about what we could do for the homeless. That's my main concern, that I'd like something put in there. And I know there's different ways that, I can ask for a discussion at the end of the meeting, but I would just like a way to be able to call a meeting without having legislation in, so we could talk about it. And then if it moves forward, then we can draw a piece of legislation up. So that's kind of what my main purpose of our meeting tonight is. In my mind, is what I really care about. I mean, as far as committees, obviously, you know how I feel about it. Obviously, I don't believe you guys all feel the same way. And the main thing is, I just want to see us get to something where, if there's a problem with, say, come up with a revenue idea. Okay, before we draw a piece of legislation out, I'd like to say, let's have a meeting and discuss what we are, and then after that meeting, if we decide that there's, going forward, we can do a resolution or do something. I think the way it reads, that you have to put legislation in before you can have a meeting, I think that handcuffs us.
So I think in the current rules of order, it does allow discussions of any other city business. So I'll take another look at that, our current rules of order that we passed at the last meeting.
Call a meeting.
I mean, I think if there is take right now, for example, if it has to do with city business, we'd be able to discuss it. Because I understand your concern. You'd want to be able to discuss an issue that comes up without having to formalize and bring legislation.
Well, everybody's input on it, and then we know.
And I think if I remember calling open meetings law on this last year, it was when we first went over all the budgets. And I wanted to submit certain pieces of paper, and that topic came up. And the woman on the phone from open meetings law said it was basically you want to have legislation ready for an agenda if you're going to vote on it. But it seems like it was still pretty open that you could still have many meetings as long as it wasn't legislation that needed to be voted on yet.
What is
It was just a matter of
fine.
notifying the public ahead of time.
You, okay,
Mm-hmm.
but is it written down in our rules? Does the rules say you have to have legislation to have a meeting?
No. Ours doesn't. I don't know if it's covered, and
So
I'll look
then
up what
why,
different way it's covered.
Judge.
Good.
So,
What's your question?
our current rules, okay?
What about
Our
it?
current rules, I want something, I'd like to have something amended or written in there to say, if I want to call a committee meeting, I don't want it that you have to have a piece of legislation in there first. I'd like to, if, let's say we got an idea I come up with an idea for revenue, and I say, okay, this is what I'm thinking, what do you guys think about that? Then we write something up. Why?
Well,
This is why,
well,
hang on one second, this thing right here that you're asking me to dismiss, that I am, not asking me, the thing from Herkimer about the homeless. I didn't want to do all this, but I had to do this in order to call a meeting, and I don't want to do that.
let me tell you something. Meetings are legislated. You talking to each other informally is not legislated. Then it's a choice of how many times somebody wants to come to this building and talk about something that may be on the mind of one councilman, but not on the mind of the other 7 or 8. So you can't legislate anything. It takes a majority of the common council to get the common council together, no matter what you call it. If you can't get 5 people to agree to meet, they're not going to meet. If
Okay.
the president calls a meeting, which he has a right under the second-class citizen law to call meetings, special meetings, if the president is informed that he doesn't have a quorum, then there isn't going to be a meeting.
Okay, but,
Because you actually control when you're going to meet, because you got to have 5 people agree to it, then you can have a meeting. But that doesn't mean that 8 people or 9 people are going to show up. You might have just the 5. That's
Right.
what
Yeah,
that's why I always dislike committee meetings, because committee meetings were usually 3 or 4 people at the most, and they would talk ad nauseum about something. Then they're supposed to vote and bring it out. Sometimes they didn't because they couldn't agree. And then they talk about the very same thing to the body, and they get an action, or maybe they don't get an action.
okay,
I
I'm going
don't
to give
go
you an
committee
example.
meetings.
Let me give you
I
an
don't, Joe, just let me finish.
Okay.
I do not go to committee meetings. The reason for it is that committee meetings are exploratory at best, and I do not like to interject my ideas at a committee meeting. The councilmen make all the decisions. When we get, and all of you are present, and I've had a chance to see that something is before you in legislation, that's where my legal advice goes, not to what you talk about individually or less than 5 people. When you've got legislation, or I prepare legislation, I make sure that it's of a legal nature, and or what I think is a legal nature.
So regardless, for example, if I decide that I think it's a good idea to have a party at the harbor on the 4th of July, and I want to see what my fellow council people think about that, and we call a meeting to discuss that. Can we do that, or we cannot do that?
You don't call a meeting. What you do is you call a gathering of the councilmen for informal purposes.
Okay, so
Now,
you can
they
do
come,
that.
They can come, but you know, if you want to have a party in your backyard,
Judge,
or your
that's just an
house,
example.
You invite them. That's all.
Right.
They
That's,
come or
no,
they don't come.
No, there's a lot more to it. If you wanted to do that, how would you get bathrooms? How would you do parking? I'm using something extravagant if you wanted to do something. Listen, we're supposed to work together as a council to try to do things, and I don't think that it's a problem that if there's different topics, we could call, it don't matter who shows up. If 3 people, 5 people, it's the same thing. If I put a piece of resolution in, if I put a resolution in and call a committee meeting, call a meeting of the whole, and we don't get 5 people. It's the same thing, it's no different.
But you do have the committee of the whole to do that.
Right.
So
Right,
why
but I'm
not
just
use
saying-
it? And if you can't get a quorum at the committee of the whole for one piece of legislation, that means nobody's interested in it. So forget
Right.
it. So
You-
let
Joe,
me
you
tell you
understand
something.
what I'm
You
trying to
have
say?
to understand what I think you have to understand. And we have a new council person here, Heather. That you are not only councilmen, you're also members of a political body. And a lot of things you do have to do with your political leanings as well, like supporting your person who's a mayor. He's a Democrat, you're all Democrats, you're probably going to support him, and that's going to make the Republicans unhappy. You got a Republican mayor, and if there were a Republican majority or voting with the mayor all the time, it makes other people happy. You can never make anybody happy in this business, but there is one thing. The law tells you in the second section of what a meeting consists of. It tells you how you get to a meeting, and it also tells you that the president of the common council and the mayor both have the authority to call a meeting. However, the clerk then does a poll to see if 5 people will attend and agree. If 5 people agree to attend, then you've got a meeting. Whether they come or not, I've had situations where they said they were gonna come, I come here and there's 4 people.
Okay.
Yeah, so, remember when we had the vote 4-3, oh, you were here, that's right. We had a vote once, it was 4-3, and the president said, it passed by the majority. I said, no, it has to have 5, and I had to read the law to him.
Is that Frank?
So.
You should be president.
You guys
Yeah,
understand what I'm
so-
trying to say?
Yeah,
so-
I remember in
so
I
it-
can give it to.
So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
My answer to your question is there really isn't an answer. You can attempt to do
Whatever you want.
whatever you wish.
Well, Rob,
And,
that's not true.
with
In the past,
It
I
is.
had to have legislation to call a meeting. That's why I put this in and got tortured for it. Okay, to get together, because we all had a problem in the
Well,
city.
who
with-
told you you had to have?
All,
They
well,
did.
back in 2024 for the budgets, when I submitted all those budgets amendments, Councilwoman said that you absolutely, it needs to have legislation and it needs to be in the agenda if you want to talk about it in a committee. You did not introduce it into committee in time to speak on it, and that was her way of squashing having the conversation on it. So I think we just followed that suit throughout, but I don't think it was right from day one. I think if we are allowed to meet on things, but it has to be in regard to our charter and our actual duties as council people. Otherwise, I don't think there's any other law that says otherwise, but, sorry, Bob, you can have the floor.
According to what I'm reading here, the pre-meeting conference, it says any other matters regarding city business. It doesn't have to be.
That's in the pre-meeting.
That's in the pre-meeting.
Pre-meeting, you're right. And so in the pre-meeting, if we get done in a half hour and I say, okay, are you guys interested in a revenue stream? And then, okay, can we have a meeting about it to discuss different things before I write legislation on it? Can we do that?
Should we just do it as by resolution if we want to?
Can I just chime in? Our rules of order 3-2-47 subsection C. Any council member who wishes to convene a meeting of the committee of the whole shall do so if they have obtained a quorum.
So you don't have to
So it
put
doesn't say nothing to do with legislation.
Not as far as I can tell.
Okay, thank you. It's written there, that's all I want.
So I just referred to that section to take a look at. So Councilman Beatrice, with the current piece, the local law number 3 of 2024, do you have a recommendation on if you'd like to discharge it? And
The one we're talking about, the homeless, that one there?
Yes.
Yes, I already said we're gonna.
okay, all right, so we're good there. And then we can move on to intro local law number 4 of 2024, dated 10/29/24. This was brought by Council Member Closimo Testa. She's not here, so I think we can move on from that and maybe circle back at a later time to see if we want to discharge that at the 7 p.m. meeting. Proposed ordinance number 5, the public safety fee. Councilman Beatrice brought this piece earlier this year. Any recommendation on this, if you'd like to keep
You
it
know,
here?
This is, I mean, this is something, we can discharge it, since I can have another meeting on different, ways to raise the revenue. But this is some same type thing. This is a perfect example. This is here where we could, you know, come through with something like this. I forgot all about this. You know, we try to raise different revenue. So, you want us, we'll start it from scratch. If you want to just, discharge that. and
It's
go-
up to you, Joe, what do you want
Yeah,
to
what do you
do?
want to do?
We might as well discharge it and then start from scratch.
Okay.
All right?
All right, moving on to the next piece, proposed ordinance number 2, rescind and replace 2-15-45, date committed 8/27/25. This was also sponsored by Councilmember Colosimo Testa. She's not here, so we'll move on from this
So
piece
it's
for
number
now.
4, Joe, same thing.
The next piece, proposed ordinance number 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one, that's from Samantha, the last one, as well. Next one is Burmaster and Williamson.
All right, so that next piece is introduction to local law number 3 of 2025, committed, tabled on 11/5/25.
It is Councilman Williamson's name on it, we would have to discharge that.
Yeah.
Does anyone have an opinion on the substance of it and their
Well,
position?
not necessarily, though. This came from, this came from law. So I would keep, I mean, if we have to change a name and put your name on it, or change the 2 parties, put Sam and you on it and keep it in there, can you do that? Can you amend it and change the name?
Could have,
Because this came from law.
yeah, we can amend. Is this the most recent version of this piece, or
I know
was
we have 2
something?
different versions
Yeah.
on this, didn't we?
We discharged the other one.
And this has been
I think
tabled.
that's what it was, Katie.
Yeah.
We discharged the other one and we kept this one.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the most recent one.
So I could do an amendment on this to,
Put your
right,
name,
and put mine and Samantha's name on this if we wanna keep it.
yes.
You make a full council.
Well, I think if Corporation Council's here tonight, maybe they could give their
We'll have to ask them,
opinion
yeah.
on how they want to move forward with this, since they brought it. If they have
You
any
got that?
opinion on that.
We're gonna check with the council on that one, or the corporation.
So that's what? Ordinance 3?
That's,
Or local law?
there's no number on it. Local law, just.
It's in our
That's
packet.
really
is
3 of 2025.
Number 3, yeah.
Ordinance 4, we're discharging too?
No.
No, okay.
Ordinance 4 standing
It's something on place that
All right, then we gotta,
Where is it?
What's that?
Huh?
And I think the next piece, proposed ordinance number 3, is also
Samantha.
Councilwoman Testa, so we could keep that. And then move on to that proposed resolution number 11.
That's what we put in on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
What did I do with that rules?
Does anyone have any comment on that proposed
The
piece?
only thing I got, I'm sorry, the only thing I got to say is, I have already said it, that you guys showed me, I'm more concerned about being able to have a meeting whenever. Obviously, I've never worked under the committee system, I wanted to see it, I know we had good success during the budget with it. Obviously, I'm not sure there is a lot of support for it. I'm not gonna sit here and lobby against something that I really don't have a chance to win. I feel very confident that you run the committee of a whole. And I believe that if I need a meeting, that you will be there for me to let me have the meeting. So it's up to you guys, whatever, that's all I have to say. My other two colleagues aren't here. You guys started majority. And-
My suggestion, just leave it in committee. Maybe we could discuss it at a further time.
And if I may, and just, yeah, we can discuss it at a further time. But that's, I think, exactly why I like committee of the whole, just because then a lot of times we end up, if people aren't here, we end up just re-saying it again, waiting until everybody is here. But I understand everybody has, I'm not trying to open up debate. I just, we can save it for another time and look down the road. And we can always change these at any point.
Listen, the only thing I'm gonna tell you about it, and it's fine, you got 9 people in a room, all talking on one topic. You get a lot more done when you got 4 or 5 together and you bring it back. But it's not gonna happen, so let's move on. Let's move on to something different. That's all I can say.
I think that's it.
All right.
Anything else, Bill?
Unless anyone has anything else, motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned. We'll see you all at 6. Second?
Second.
Meeting in order. All right, the first thing I have here is from Councilman Bitar, Board of Estimate and Review appointment. Be resolved pursuant to Section 523 of Real Estate Property Law. The following person hereby appointed as a member of the Board of Assessment and Review for the current 5-year term, which commenced on October 1st, 2025, and ends on September 30th, 2030. Justina Colenso. I guess we're going to vote on that today. Got that? All right, then I have some discharges here that I'd like to present.
Remember that?
The first one's going to be proposed resolution, number 4, Councilman B. Tar. This is the resolution to examine, inspect, and discuss material related to the master reuse plan for the former St. Elizabeth Medical Hospital. We're going to bring that in for discharge, right, Joe? Okay, we're good on that. And then the next one that we proposed discharge is from Councilman Beatrice. This is a local law to prohibit camping or sleeping on City of Utica parks, public sidewalks, streets, alleyways, or other public right-of-ways. We're going to be bringing that in for a discharge. We got that? Yep. Okay.
We're gonna come up with something new other than that.
Sounds good, Joe. The next discharge from the committee is from Councilman Beatrice again, or ordinance amending section 2-2-165 of the public safety fee. You're good with that, Councilman? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And then we have something here from Corporation Council. It is originally Councilman Burmaster and Williamson. We need to change that. Be enacted the Common Council for the City of Utica. It's a law amending the Utica City Charter. So once they come in, we'll decide on that to see what we want to do on that, if they want to discharge it or keep it and
Do the
just
clerks
change the
remember,
names on
is this
it.
the one we discharged?
That's-
We
well,
already
that's what we gotta-
discharged the other one, right?
I don't know if this is gonna be a corporation.
Yes.
council. This has been.
This was
So
the
I think we
tabled
just hold
one.
that,
Okay, thank
well,
you.
Just amend it and put the 2 names on it.
but if they're going to discharge it, what's the sense? So we got to
We're
see
not-
what they want to, is it?
With this local law for the contract?
This is the introductory law amending city charter, section 1-1.016,
Did somebody wanna get rid of it?
notice of tort claims against the city.
No, I don't wanna get rid of it. It came from Corporation Council.
Well, I'm not going to discharge it. I said that we're going to wait on it to
Oh,
see what
just
they
not
want to do with
tonight.
it.
We'll wait on Corporation Council.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going to wait on corporation on that. Everybody good on that?
Yeah.
Okay. You got that,
Yeah, number 3.
President? Okay. And I think that is it. Any questions from anybody?
We don't have any other legislation.
No other legislation.
Do,
So this is quick, down and dirty. Thank you everybody much for coming. I'll see y'all at 7 o'clock. Thank you.
motion to adjourn.
This meeting will come to order. The city clerk will call the roll.
Aiello, Burmaster, Bitar, Urban, Beatrice, Wazlewski, Classimo Testa, Lometico, Giruzzi, present.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for the deceased members of the Common Council. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion and a second to dispense the reading of minutes from the previous meeting?
Motion.
Public comment period, 3 minutes per speaker. Our first speaker will be David Starczewski. Stolarczyk. Yep. David, Common Council has provided you a copy of Section 3244 Public Comment Period. Are you in agreement?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you again for letting me speak. This day is the day I wanted to talk, last month, I want to talk about the City of Utica Police Reform Final Update Report. I did look at it, 65 pages. I think it's really good, by the former mayor, Robert M. Palmieri. But I have my concerns and I'll express it. When I look at this, bear with me, there'll be a little bit of negative, it's not much. The committees, you know, instead of the members with their profile, include 1 page for each member, please, on how their education, training, experience, and credentials prevent crime. I don't think that's much to ask. Now, if you're not involved in that, or their advice as to what their solution is for crime prevention. It's like I look at it, it's a resume booster. It's great, it's really great to know the backgrounds, but I like to personally know what's their preventative measure against crime. So I think that would help, and it's not being negative to anybody, it's just you can, or what's your opinion? Now I looked at the document, Justice Administration is a starter and okay, the Operation Second Chance, I really like that concept a lot. The outreach, I want to just make something a concern, and the reason I came here is because I was broken in 3 times the last year. 1 year I had $7,000 worth of damage, no insurance, came out of my pocket. And, you know, I don't want to see stuff, if you break a crime, you know, I don't want to see programs there for the perpetrators of the crime. You ought to have an outreach also for the victims. Now, I dealt with it. I get highly stressed out. And like I said, I had to put in $6,000 worth of windows and stuff like that. And I'm not going to get into it. I was broken in. I got a antique old door, smashed it and so forth. But I don't want law enforcement to just right away side with the perpetrator. Work with the victim, and they're really good to me, but I did have some negatives. That's why I'm bringing it up now. I don't have an abandoned house, okay? I'm paying gas, electric, I'm paying utilities, I'm paying taxes. I can't afford the upkeep, the remodeling in a constructive way, so that's why it isn't complete. But when someone breaks in and says it's an abandoned house, don't support the perpetrator, support the victim. So those are the negatives. I wanted to talk about something else here then. I like the idea of there's like an outreach, school partnerships, movies in park, national night out. I think these are great, burgers, cookouts. I like the idea to get the police involved with the community so the community sees these are human beings with families and they're just like us, and protect your police, not just the community, the police. So those things, I'll even sponsor $100 for the burger cookouts in West Utica when you do it, because I think that's a great idea. Now, here's where the negatives are going to come in. Recreation, why just basketball? All right, now, and I'm not racial, but it seems racial to me. Why not hockey? Why not something that is new to the youth, like swimming, tennis, other, so that they're all in the same boat together? Because the real key is you want to model humility when you're dealing with the young. You don't want to get someone here that just all they do is play basketball and they get that same jock attitude from high school. You don't want that. So I'm not going to talk now, I don't have enough time on it, but choose a neutral sport for all races, okay? So
You're gonna have to finish up, please.
Okay, really quick. So the last thing is I disagree with DEI and recruitments, always by merit and I'm not discriminatory anyways. I want everybody to read up about one African-American I think is a great person. His name is Doris Miller. He's a true American hero. Probably 95%, I'm done in 15 seconds, 95% of the Utica or anyone doesn't even know about this person. Read up about him in World War II, what he went through, a true patriot, an African-American. So I'm not, and I like Jackie Robinson, you know, really his humility. And the last thing, and I'm done, Mark Williams graduated 98 from UFA. I graduated 97, or excuse me, 79, 78 he graduated. I liked him for this reason. He's humble, played softball 79, or excuse me, 89 and 90 with the PBA. One of the things I liked about him, he was really good, but he wasn't a bragger. So Mark, reach out to me with prevention by getting involved with the Department of Education and the high schools at each level, as I spoke last time, and we can resolve the problems to prevent crime, okay? So I'm gonna leave it at that. God bless you again for letting me talk. I appreciate everything, okay?
David, thank you. Our next speaker, Carolyn McLeese. Carolyn, Common Council has provided you a copy of Section 3244, Public Comment Period. Are you in agreement?
Yes.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Starting a new year, just want to encourage everyone to report what's going on. Don't want to steal your thunder, but I'm sure the chief is going to talk about the new fire truck. Yay. And our city engineer, hopefully you're going to talk about the $1 million grant for the new traffic lights on Genesee Street. I'm very excited. Please start with Elizabeth in Genesee. And to our commissioner of DPW, if you can get rid of the snow on Bleecker Street so we could drive down there, it would be great. Thank you very much.
Carolyn, thank you. Our next speaker, Francis Brown. Francis, the Common Council has provided you a copy of Section 3244, Public Comment Period. Are you in agreement?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Francis.
New Year, New Utica. Happy New Year, Utica. With a new year is new beginnings, new ways for Utica to prosper and grow. The New Year's party was a blast. The real star of the show was Michelle and the sound person in the background. I'd like to welcome our new Common Council at large with new ideals for Utica. We have 7 new police officers and 6 new firefighters, and unfortunately, a new budget coming. Utica has new plans for downtown parking. This paid parking will help fill the coffers for maintenance of Utica streets. This will help reduce congestion and prevent accidents and make it more pedestrian safe. Utica sewers are looking at new upgrades to help fix outdated systems, new ways to separate the rain runoff from raw sewage, saving tax dollars further down the line. Utica has new opportunities to add to the Empire State Trail system. This can help promote the harbor and other tourism. New ways to enjoy the scenic view of the Mohawk River are possible. Utica Zoo has new exhibits for everyone to enjoy. At least these yaks are ready for the winter we are having. The zoo is constructing a new Four Seasons coral reef habitat too. Now, the importance of the report of city officials, in my opinion, is the reports of these meetings show some progress within the city. Not everyone will say it publicly, but what are our tax dollars being spent on? Every department at this table is like the gears of a clock. Some of us want to know what them gears are doing to benefit the citizens of Utica. Citizens' feedback is important too, and the average citizen's opinion should be taken into consideration. I have several other new ideas, but it's on the city to listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Francis. There is no guest speaker, no communication from the mayor. Report of city officers. We'll start with Fire Chief Angersall.
We are expecting delivery of a new fire truck next week. That's been on order since the council approved that, I believe in 2023. We're still looking at extended delivery times. So that unfortunately hasn't caught up yet, but yeah, we will be seeing it hopefully at the end of next week. We just took delivery of a new ambulance last month as well. For the month of December, we responded to 1,458 incidents, 20 reported structure fires. There was 7 actual structure fires in the month of December. Several are still under investigation. Unfortunately, we did have some people displaced by those fires. 704 transports to the local hospital. The hospitals, again, we put out a social media message over the weekend about when to call an ambulance and when to not call an ambulance. And I can't emphasize that enough because we're seeing extended wait times at the emergency rooms. And we're seeing probably some lower acuity calls that could probably be better handled either via telemedicine or an urgent care visit. But it's seriously hampering some of our ability to respond to other emergencies. So would encourage everyone, if they're able to, if they're having flu-like symptoms, common cold, something like that, to try to get to local urgent care to follow up with them. That's all I got.
Chief, this might sound like
Yeah.
a stupid question if you don't mind, but if somebody does call 911, do they have the option to be dropped off at urgent care, or is it strictly only in the emergency room?
That's a great question. Right now, we still do not have the ability to transport directly to an urgent care. You know, and it's something that the county's looked at as well. If we can,
Why don't we?
there's a state regulation with that right now, and we still just don't have that ability to transport to an urgent care for a lower acuity call. It's something that we'd love to see change in the future. You know,
Is that something that at the local level that could happen, or does it have to be
it's
at
really
the state?
Department of Health at the state level.
Okay.
There's been a lot of talk about it. They made some. There's been some movement on that, but we're still not there yet.
Okay.
And again, you know, we've talked with the county, and we're still trying to roll out a program where we can get some people telemed. The county does offer a nurse navigation program, so if you call 911 and you know, obviously the dispatchers ask a lot of questions, but they're following emergency medical dispatch protocol questions. That's a nationally recognized standard. If they feel that you're a low acuity call, they do give you the option of talking to the nurse navigator. That nurse navigator, what that's going to do, it's a nurse practitioner that's going to call the person back and follow up with them, and you know, whether they can prescribe some medicine over the phone, or maybe get them an Uber or something like that to an urgent care. That's something that we have been working on. It's not super successful yet. You know, we're trying to really roll that out and make sure people are educated on that. But there is an opportunity to re-emphasize that nurse navigation program through the county, and it's something that, you know, again, if you're having a lower acute, and when people call 911, you know, we've done a great job at teaching people when to call 911, and what we haven't done always a great job on is, you know, reaffirming that education and saying that, you know what, maybe we don't need 911 for a toothache, or we don't need to call 911 if the Q-tip broke off in your ear, which was a couple calls last month, you know. And I'm not saying that that's, you know, so, you know, everyone experiences emergencies, you know, everyone in emergency is a little bit different, right? But we do find ourselves in these lower acuity calls, and we're missing heart attacks because we're doing some of these lower acuity calls. And that's a serious issue for the residents of the city. Multiple times in the month of December where we either have outside agencies coming in, mutual aid ambulances, because we have run out of ambulances due to just the volume or delays in hospital patient turnover. And there's been multiple times that our ambulances have to go outside the city because there's a lack of ambulances in the county. So we're seeing this cycle, it continues on, you know. We're in the sick period right now, you know, always post holidays, we always see a spike in emergency room visits. That's definitely, you know, everyone, we probably all know people that are sick right now. Stomach virus is going around, influenza is highly prevalent all over the place. But again, you know, this sometimes overloads the system, and there's only so much capacity that we have to respond.
I mean, and I guess that goes back to the fact of how do you limit maybe somebody just calling for an ambulance transport, maybe offering that Uber ride rather than...
Yeah, you know, and that's something that we'd love to see further exploration on. You know, there's other communities that have, you know, they have a nurse navigator that's able to go out in a vehicle and do house visits and things like that.
Thank you, Chief. Nick Breidenbacher, our city engineer.
Yeah, it's true. We have the SMART grant, which is helping with public safety, keeping when they have their lights on, transfers the lights to green so they can keep moving. Also will tap into the state's MIRO program, which reads traffic, and if you have a lot of cars backing up, it can change the lights over to keep the traffic moving, which is to help on idling and saving on our carbon footprint. There's a lot of other things going on. TAP grant, one of them. We're in design phase right now. We just, this week we'll be selecting our consultant that is going to help finalize the designs and bring it to the market for us or with us. I do want to talk about the USDA tree grant, our urban vitalization. We had a successful season, which I haven't brought up to my dismay, but we had a successful season last year. We did 260 trees in the second half of last year. Hamilton College was a great help. They provided over 250 students, all volunteer work. It helps with everybody's carbon footprint. That's all I've got for the moment. But next week I'll have more. I'll come more prepared like the chief.
Thank you, Nick.
2 weeks.
Mark Sokolowski, our DPW commissioner.
No, I just want to say it's been a rough 2 weeks with the weather. We counted today, we've been out 55 times since Thanksgiving, multiple times during one day. We are getting issues with salt shortage, which is out there for everybody. We're having trouble getting it to us. They have the salt, but the carriers are having trouble getting it to us. And the parks and DPW have been working around the clock, and they've been doing a great job. So that's all I got. And we are starting to do snow removal, and Bleecker Street's on the top of the list. So you're welcome. That's all I got.
Thank you. Our assistant police chief, Ed Noonan.
For the month of December, our tax dollars for the police department went towards 216 incident reports, 224 domestic incident reports, 247 accidents. Our officers issued 336 traffic tickets, and they made 236 arrests. We also, I'd like to report, we had a very successful and safe New Year's Eve event downtown. And once again, the police department, without any tax dollars, won the chili cook-off. And we defeated it's a given that we defeat the fire department, but we beat the DPW this year, which was very...
I'd like to file another report on that. We were robbed.
Yeah.
Article 78. And just to be clear, no tax dollars went towards the making of the chili. That's all I have.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. Brian Thomas, Urban Renewal.
Nothing to report.
Thank you, Brian. Petitions, remonstrances, there's no cash report. Petitions, remonstrances, and appeals. First District Council Member Katie L.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just letting everybody know, the West Utica Neighborhood Association meeting is next Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the Irish Culture Center. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Second District Council Member Robert Burmester.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to echo on the DPW. They did a heck of a job in West Utica, and there's a ton of potholes, and just bear with us. I want to thank Mark and his department for keeping the streets, and I know how hard it is, and I got some positive calls this year, and I just want to relay them to Mr. Sokolowski that he's doing a great job, and thank you. That's all I
Thank you,
have,
Robert.
Mr. President.
Third District Council Member, President Pro Tem, and Committee of the Whole Chair, Joseph Bitar.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to announce the next South Utica Neighborhood Association. So on January 12th, instead of a meeting, there's going to be a Suna social at Emerson Ave Coffee. That's 2011 Genesee Street. To my knowledge, this is the first Suna social they're going to have, at least in the past few years. So if you're listening, if you're here, stop on down. January 12th, 6 p.m., Emerson Ave Coffee. Other than that, that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Our Fifth District Council Member, Venice Irvin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Happy New Year to everybody, and thank you for coming out tonight. The District 5 Neighborhood Block Association meeting will be on the 13th, next Tuesday, at the Cornhill Revitalization Center. It's the old Thomas Lindsay building, same thing, same place, 6 o'clock p.m., and that's next Tuesday. If anybody wants to come out and hear what's going on in the neighborhood, come on out, 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member. Our Sixth District Council Member, Joseph Beatrice.
Thank you, Mr. President. The only thing I got is I want to wish everybody Happy New Year and look forward to working with everybody in the new year. And I want to welcome my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, Craig and Lori Stensky, to the YouTube Common Council. They tell me this is their new favorite show, so they're watching it tonight. It's kind of a quiet show tonight, so welcome to YouTube.
Thank you, Council Member. Council Member at Large, Heather Wazlewski. Congratulations, Heather.
Thank you. I just want to say I'm excited to work with all of you over the next 2 years, and hi to my son who's watching right now, because I give him a lot of credit sitting through this whole meeting to watch his mom. So, yeah, that's it. So, thank you.
Thank you. Council Member at Large and Minority Leader Samantha Calesimo Testa.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've got nothing to report.
Thank you. And Council Member at Large and Majority Leader Jack Lemetico.
Thank you, Mr. President. And as the Democratic Majority Leader here, I'd like to welcome Heather Wazlewski to the council here. Welcome aboard. I know you're going to do a great job, and I'd be remiss if I didn't introduce our new county legislator, Anthony Leone, in the council chambers there. Thank you, Anthony, and good luck this year. I was at the New Year's party downtown. We had a wonderful time there. I seen some faces that were attending there, and I was glad to see everybody over there. Just for Mark's end of it, he's done a great job to DPW, and I hope that the people that are parking on the streets overnight, hopefully, did we ticket anybody for the overnight there, Chief?
We did, quite a few, and I didn't bring those numbers, but I think the thing we have to keep in mind though too is that, so during the snow emergencies, everyone has to clear the streets.
Right.
The issues I think we're having is there's a number of overnight parking permits that are issued, so when there's no snow emergency, those people can still park in the streets.
Right.
So that might, it's an issue that.
Have we run into an issue with that?
The biggest part is Bank Place.
Say again?
They have Bank Place, that new, the new whatever the loft that it is.
Oh,
There's
okay.
8 cars parked on Bank Place all the time, snow emergency or not. We just plow through it.
Or
That is a big issue.
Or snow emergency too, we can.
Right.
Well, they need they need to move it on a snow emergency day, I'm assuming, right? And we're going to handle that.
So we ticket and we work with the DPW to tow.
Were there any tows?
There was a few tows, yeah.
All right, it's good to hear. All right, and that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Council Member. Can I have a motion and second to introduce proposed resolution number 1?
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Board of Assessment Review Appointment, be it resolved that pursuant to Section 523 of the Real Property Tax Law, the following person is hereby appointed as a member of the Board of Assessment Review for the current 5-year term, which commenced on October 1st, 2025, and ends on September 30th, 2030. Justina Colenso, 111 Harder Place, Utica, New York, 13502. Can I have your votes, please?
Eight yeas adopted.
Everyone got a letter from John Aurelio pertaining to the Ethics Board, so I think we're going to discuss the appointments. It's in the mailbox at our next council meeting. Anything coming out of committee?
Yes, Mr. President, we're looking at some discharges. The first one would be proposed resolution number 4 for Councilman Bitar, resolution to examine, inspect, and discuss material related to the master reuse plan for the former St. Elizabeth Medical Hospital. Joe, anything on that you'd like to say?
Just say at this time, my understanding is it's out for interested developers. I think questions are due by the end of January, and the actual submissions are due early February, so we should know more. And if need be, we'll redraft something to submit it for further discussion, but we'll see which developers come forward through the process.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to discharge.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Anyone opposed? Discharge.
The next one would be, this is from Councilman Beatrice.
Yes.
This is a local law to prohibit camping or sleeping on city of Utica parks, public sidewalks, streets, alleyways, and other public right-of-ways to discharge. Councilman Beatrice.
Yes, I am going to discharge this, and as we discussed in our pre-meeting, we will be coming up with something different now. So we're going to start from scratch, and hopefully we can come up with something to solve that issue and help out everybody.
Can I get a second for that? Anyone opposed? Discharge.
The next one would be proposed ordinance number 5, looking at a discharge, and this is, once again, this is from Councilman Beatrice. This is an ordinance amending section 2-2-169, public safety fee. Would you like to say something on that?
Yeah, just the same type thing. We still want to look toward increase in revenue for the city. I just think at this time, we should start with new legislation in a new year and come up with different ideas. So yes, we can discharge this.
Can I get a second on that?
Second. I'll second that.
Anyone opposed?
Okay, and
Discharge,
the final thing
yep.
is that we have a local law amending City of Utica Charter, Section 1-016, Notice of Tort Claims Against City, Liability of City in Certain Actions. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, we need to do an amendment with this. This is sponsored by, it was sponsored by Councilman Burmaster and Williamson. This needs to be amended to Councilman Lomedico and Colosimo Testa.
Can I get a second on that?
Second.
So we need to vote on that, I
Yep.
think.
Votes, please, to amend.
Eight yeas to amend.
And that is it, Mr. President.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to commit it.
Are you gonna commit?
Right. Weren't we waiting on the law department?
So are you voting
Are you waiting
on
for
it?
the law department, or you want, it's up to you.
No, legal motion to, table.
Okay, it is already.
Yeah, that's it. We're good.
Second.
Motion, second to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, adjourn.
Thank you.